Welcome to Lochhead on Marketing, where we're trying the world's first marketing podstorm. 30 days of strategies and ideas to help you create the future of your choosing. Hey ho, let's go. Thanks for pressing play. I sure am glad you're here. On this episode, let's talk about why you need what legendary author Jim Collins calls a big, hairy, audacious goal. Now, America's getting back to work, and to win the new economy, you need every advantage possible. And that's where my friends at NetSuite by Oracle come in, the world's #1 cloud ERP system. Finance, HR, inventory, and e-commerce that allows you to manage every penny with precision. Visit netsuite.com/different. And while you're there, you'll be able to get the free guide, 7 actions businesses need to take now, and schedule a free product tour of NetSuite at netsuite.com/different. And my friends at Splunk want to help you turn data into doing. Visit SPLUNK/D, the number 2E. That's Splunk.com/D2E. All right. Now, I'm hoping that you have read Jim Collins' 2 legendary books, Built to Last and Good to Great. These are game changers, insanely great research about businesses, and Jim's one of the smartest business authors of all time. In those books, he introduces the concept of a BHAG, which is an acronym for Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. And, simple examples of BHAGs that we can all relate to. Of course, when John F. Kennedy said we're going to put a man on the moon, and this is the part that some people forget, and safely return him to Earth, which, if you're the man going to the moon, is a very important part of the BHAG. And he said that we would do it within a decade. And so that's a great example and a simple, powerful example, because it's specific, it's clear, it's clearly big and hairy, audacious at the time, of course, and it's complete, and it has a time on it. Now, why does this matter in the context of marketing, and particularly in the context of a category design approach for designing and dominating a market category? Well, the first part to achieving a goal is to declare it. And when you tie a BHAG to a category design strategy, something amazing happens. One of the most powerful examples in the tech industry, as Microsoft was building the personal computer category, they had a BHAG they set called a computer, a PC on every desktop. And of course, they achieved that BHAG, and it drove a lot of things. Number one, PC on every desktop is very clear. Number two, by doing that, Microsoft is declaring themselves the category queen, because there's an interesting thing, and I've mentioned this before, I think it's important to mention again. In the minds of the market, in the minds of people, the company evangelizing the category must be the leader or category queen or king in that category. And so Microsoft, in this case, is evangelizing what they want to have happen, and they're doing what literary category designers do, which is not just creating the market category, but expanding it over time. As well, a BHAG is incredibly powerful internally because it's a rallying cry. My dear friend Eddie Yoon, you've probably heard me say this, talks about the distinction between missionaries and mercenaries. A BHAG should be mission oriented. What my friends at Sequoia Capital they look for what they call mission driven entrepreneurs. So when you have a BHAG that speaks to the mission, that is tied to you designing and dominating a category, now you're doing marketing and category design that's incredibly powerful. And there's an interesting thing when you put it out in the world like Microsoft did. Number one, you're communicating this BHAG. You're making yourself accountable in the marketplace for your strategic objective. Number two, and maybe we'll do an episode on this, I think the role that marketing plays inside the company is and in some ways, as nutty as this sounds, as important as the role it plays externally. And so here's the thing. If you are an employee at Microsoft back in the day and you read Bill Gates or Ballmer or Mike Maples Sr. or whoever it is talking about how the company's on a mission to get a personal computer on every desktop, it helps you be mission driven. It aligns the company inside against the BHAG, which then is tied to the category called personal computing, and everybody's aligned on building and growing the category and becoming the category queen. This is something that we did at Mercury. When I was at Mercury Interactive, we sold the company in 2006 to HP for $4.5 billion. So the company had an incredible outcome. One of the things we did when we did category design there, the category we invented was called BTO, Business Technology Optimization. And at the same time, we rolled out the point of view about why it was time to optimize the business of technology, and the BTO category itself. We also declared internally that the reason we were doing BTO was because we at Mercury wanted to build a top 5 software company. And the argument we had was essentially the following. If SAP became the category king in corporate ERP, and therefore a top 5 software company by optimizing Fortune 500 companies' internal processes, we thought that we could become a top 5 software company by optimizing, quote unquote, the business value of IT. Okay. Why did this matter? Well, it mattered because just like the Microsoft example, it was a rallying cry for our people. Building a top 5 software company was our mission. The other interesting thing, our CEO declared the mission externally in an interview in Fortune magazine. And so that sent a message to our prospects, our existing customers, to our business partners and ecosystem, and to Mercury's investors that we, like David Ogilvy says, we were not bunting. We were going for it. We wanted to build one of the top 5 software companies in the world. And that mantra started to show up everywhere. So what's my point? At the beginning of this Podstorm number 1, Lochhead on Marketing episode number 39, I shared with you that the research shows that approximately 10% of companies get stronger in a downturn. And I encourage you to adopt that as a possible goal for your company. Now I'm asking you to get super specific. What's the goal with the category you're trying to design? What's your top 5 software company? What's your computer on every desktop or man on the moon? And by declaring your BHAG and making it clear to your people, your prospects, your customers, your investors, and this is the one I actually like the most, your competitors, all of a sudden you've planted your flag on something. It becomes very unifying, very focusing, and it motivates your people. Hopefully it inspires your customers, investors, and partners, and it scares the shit out of your competition. And to me, legendary marketing does all of that. And so in closing, what I would share with you is legendary marketers and category designers get mission oriented, mission driven, and they tie their category strategy to achieving what Jim Collins taught us about in Built to Last and Good to Great, a big, hairy, audacious goal. All right. We would like to thank my good friends at Atranet, building B2B websites in Silicon Valley for over 20 years. Check out atre.net. My friends at squadcast.fm. Squadcast is the platform that we use for our podcast where we have guests over the internet. And their sound quality, if you're a podcaster, you're getting into podcasting, and you're doing internet-based podcasts, which virtually all of us are, Squadcast sounds incredible. And I want you to know, if your podcast sounds like shit, you sound like shit, and Squadcast is legendary. Check them out. All right, I remind you that today's information is provided to you solely for informational purposes. And warning, the creators of this oddcast have most certainly been consuming libations. We're produced by living podcast legend Jason DeFilippo. Check out his podcast, Grumpy Old Geeks. Technical legendariness and website by Jamie J. and Sarah Knox. Show notes by Diane Gervasio. And Candy Dandy keeps all the trains running on time. The thought I'll leave you with comes from me. If it ain't big, hairy, and audacious, why you doing it? All right, please stay legendary, stay safe, and until we're together again, follow your different.